What is up, everybody? J Nell here with my UFC 241 recap video. I hope you saw it happen last night, and it was incredible. It lived up to all the hype from right here at the Honda Center in California, IA. So my hood, even though I couldn't go, but I meant it anyway. Let's get into it. I did not have the best night. I don't even care. I got 2 out of 5. I should have went with my heart with my boy in the co-main event, but we'll get to that later. Either way, again, this was an incredible event, so please look it up if you have not seen it yet. Now, I just did the main event. First up, I chose Brunson to beat Heinisch, and he did. This was a 3-round decision, and I totally agree. I think that Ian probably won the first. Well, no, he didn't. No, the first round was actually kind of close. He got started really well. I think he was first to the punch. I think that Brunson was measured. I think he was trying to find his timing, and in that, Ian got a little bit comfortable in that first round, so you could give that to him, but the next 2 definitely went to Dirk. He started to work his wrestling. He seemed to have the cooler head. He seemed to have more tools. He seemed to be able to push the pace. He seemed to be able to work his wrestling and muscle up against the fence and all of that. And then Ian started to wane his energy a little bit, so I totally agree with the win. Good win for Brunson. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now, next up, I got this pick as well. I chose Sodiq Miocic to beat Gabriel Benitez, and he did in the first round. Super Sodiq. Woo! Okay, so this ended in the first round. Like I said, they're going back and forth. There was no filling out period. Sodiq was just walking him down and trying to take his head off. I was like, okay, let's get a little patient here. Let's not get too overzealous, especially since Gabriel was the first one to crack him first. Even though he was backing up, Gabriel cracked him. He did a little dip. He didn't fall on the ground, but he definitely dipped. And I was like, oh no! Then he came back, landed some shots of his own, but he definitely was a little bit more cautious after that. And the momentum was going back and forth until he landed a right that dropped Benitez. A couple more shots later, refs stopped the fight. Super Sodiq again. Great win for him. I believe it's his 4th win in a row. So who would you like to see him fight next? I do believe he is one to watch. Now, next up, I did not get this pick. I chose Romero to beat Paulo Costa. He did not, although many people feel as though he did, except for I actually think I did lose the pick. I thought that Paulo won. Let's talk about it. This was a 3-round decision, unanimous in favor of Paulo Costa. This fight lived up to all the hype. First round, Paulo kept walking forward the entire time, and he looked bigger than Yoel, which I did not expect, especially his shoulders and his arms. He was walking him down, walking forward the entire time, pressing the pace, trying to be the first one to hit. Yoel was trying to do a little rope-a-dope. He was trying to lull him to sleep with his body movement. He kept sticking his tongue out, trying to get into his head, trying to pull out all the old wily veteran tricks that he had. In the first round, Paulo actually stunned Yoel first. He did a little dip, and Yoel came back and wallop, knocked Paulo, and he landed on the ground. He popped back up, and then they went to a little wrestling and popped back up, and then, oh my God, here we go. In the first round, they're going back and forth. Paulo was working the body the entire time. He landed, I forget how many shots it was, but it was like 43% more than Yoel did with his body shots. Yoel primarily concentrated on the head, of which he did draw blood. I think that's kind of the reason why a lot of people thought that Yoel won, is because Paulo was wearing it more on his face. And oh gosh, let me just say, just allow me to be myself for a second. As his face was getting beat up, I was like, oh no, not his face. I was like, what happens if Paulo ever breaks his nose? Oh my God. I mean, he already has the modeling contract and everything. Like, well, his face. Not his face. Okay. Second round, I thought that Paulo won that too. He was still continuing going going forward, initiating all of the I can't even talk right now. I'm so excited about the fight. Initiating all of the conflict, all of the brawls. However, though Yoel was getting a little bit more comfortable, you could see that he was starting to frustrate Paulo there a minute. There was also a kick to the groin, I believe, in the first round, which gave them a little bit of a break. They were able to come back hard, hitting. Both of the cardios held up. By the end of the first round, Yoel landed a takedown. I think maybe that takedown was why some of the people thought that Yoel won that round as well, but it was really literally like towards the last 20 seconds of the round, he did land that takedown. Wasn't able to do much because the round ended. The third round comes. I thought he would do more wrestling, but he actually did not. I still think he won the third round either way. Paulo was no longer going forward the entire time. It was Yoel actually pushing the pace. It was going back and forth more. The energy was being traded back and forth as far as who was controlling the center of the octagon. Also, Yoel landed some shots, which actually he beat Paulo up against the cage, but then he backed away instead of trying to maybe finish him there or rain down some shots or maybe take him down. There was actually 2 moments like that. There was some fun had to be had there. There was moments where they were both hitting each other at the exact same time and they were both smiling. There was a time where Paulo was like, when Yoel beat him back up against the cage, and then Yoel backed off, and Kyle was like, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. Then he put his hands behind his back and he's like, okay, I'll come forward. Yes, sir. So again, that personality we saw from Paul at 28 years old, like he not only is he one to watch, I think he has real star potential. Not only does he have that beautiful face, he's got personality. He's learning English. It's coming along nicely. Afterwards, the crowd was booing because they love Yoel Romero. A lot of people thought that he won. He did a good job of bringing Yoel to the center of the octagon with him. He hugged him. He's like, this man's a beast. So he did a good job of trying to placate the crowd a little bit there. So I think he has all the tools to be a star. Called out Israel Adesanya, at least the winner. I think he said skinny Adesanya because Adesanya was talking trash before, of course, like Adesanya does. So again, I agree with the judge's decision. Let me know what you think. I do see how there could have been a draw, but again, let me see what you guys think. Let me know if you think that he won, if Yoel lost, or if Yoel won. Yoel definitely didn't look 42. He did great. His cardio held up. So again, just let me know what you thought of the entire fight, who won and why, and what do you think should be next for Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero. Now, next up, we have the co-main event, and I lost this fight, and I shouldn't have. As I said in my prediction video, you can go back and check the tape. I said that I am picking Anthony Pettis, but I'll be rooting against my own pick and rooting for Nate Diaz, and I should have just went with my boy, because my boy won. And I was rooting from him from minute one. Actually, right before I posted a picture saying I can't wait for this fight. I'm more excited for this in the co-main event. And even then, I was like, I should change my pick to my boy, and I didn't. And I should have. Okay, so this is a 3-round unanimous decision in favor of my boy, Stockton Hall's own Diaz Crew Army. Okay. He won and he beat Anthony Pettis. Okay. This fight had everything, okay? Of course, Pettis had his moments as well, but he actually hurt his ankle in the very beginning of the second round, which, of course, there was that thing. Diaz had 3 years off. I was worried about some ring rust. Also, this was a higher weight class. Pettis kind of seemed to be in fighting stride. So, again, I'm so sorry, Nate Diaz. I apologize. I will never pick against you again. This is my bad. I feel like a horrible fan. I'm sorry. Now, let's talk about the fight. Man, dirty boxing. Nate Diaz put on a high pace. Like he said, this was a 3. He's used to 5 rounds. This was 3 rounds, so he wanted to put on a high pace quickly, and that's what he did. He didn't give Diaz much space, or excuse me, he didn't give Pettis much space. Like I said, Pettis had his moments with his kicks. There were some leg kicks, but Diaz was checking the leg kicks. He wasn't going to let it go down like that, but Diaz was constantly moving forward with a high pace, high strikes. He was moving his body, kind of looking lackluster, trying to lull Pettis into a false sense of security, even when he would hit, make some shots. Again, he drew blood from Diaz. So again, Pettis had his moments, but Diaz just smothered him with his action, constantly moving forward and turning this into a dirty boxing fight where he just simply outworked him in the phone booth. He even took him down in the first round, landed some nice ground and pound. I think he took it down in each round, actually took him down in the second round as well. Again, early in that second round, Pettis threw a kick. They kind of went shin to shin, and Pettis' ankle, you saw it immediately kind of swole up. So we saw it hindered his movement throughout the rest of the fight. And again, Nate Diaz was able to just keep it close and keep it in the dirty boxing round where he just outworked him from head to toe. He took him down again in the second round. He even got his back at one moment, tried to sink in the rear naked choke at one moment. At one point in the third, Pettis reversed it, got on top himself, and then got it reversed again. This fight was bananas. We saw a crazy grappling exchange where Pettis was on top, then Diaz was on top, then Diaz got his back, and then Pettis turned around again, and then he got back up. Again, this fight had everything. It was amazing. It lived up to all the hype, and then Diaz afterwards got on the mic, and he said, "It's Diaz Army, mother." Put his arms up, and then he called out Mr. Jorge Masvidal. He said, ain't a lot of true gangsters in the game. Jorge's one of them, although he ain't no West Coast gangster. Either way, let me know what you thought of the fight. Let me know what you think should be next for Nate Diaz. Should there be a rubber match against Conor McGregor? Jorge, as Dana White said before, he said that Nate Diaz wasn't a needle mover. He said now he's a needle mover. He don't need Conor McGregor. He is the main show, so he can do what he wants. He's got enough money. He was out there promoting his CBD joints or vapes or whatever. He was doing it big. My boy, I'm so sorry. I'll never pick against you again. Now, main event, and I got this one wrong as well, and new UFC heavyweight champion, Mr. Stipe Miocic. He got his belt back, baby, against Mr. Daniel Cormier in a 4-round fight where he finished him. Let's get into this. So the first round, DC won the first round. Not only did he seem like he had his timing, he was able to land some shots. He was able to keep Stipe off kilter. You can see Stipe didn't have his footing. He seemed kind of light in his weight. DC was able to take him down and mount some serious ground and pound to kind of finish out the round. Stipe really couldn't get back up. We're like, okay, here we go. I'm going to be right. Second round, instead of going back to, clearly DC had enough boxing to disguise his wrestling, but I think he got in his head that he was going to knock Stipe out again. He was head hunting. He kept grabbing the hands and trying to split the guard and going in between and land a 1-2, 1-2, but instead I think he should be trying to go take him down again. More of the dirty boxing, make him hold your body weight, get him up against the cage instead of trying to box him. But he didn't really go for too many more takedowns, even though I do believe he won the second round with this tactics, with grabbing the hands and landing more shots, cleaner shots. If you saw Stipe's face after, actually both their faces, but Stipe's face was super beat up. It was all red and black and blue and some swelling and cut lips and all of that. So he was hitting him. He won the second round as well, but the third round I thought was closer than most. A lot of people said that DC won the third with more of the same, but I thought that Stipe was actually starting to get his timing more, starting to press his pace a little bit more. And I thought that third round was closer than a lot of people thought. I thought DC wasn't landing quite as much and kind of became predictable. And I was waiting for him to go back to his wrestling, but he never did. So the fourth round comes and Stipe changes it up altogether. He said he noticed that Daniel wasn't guarding his body, so he started digging in with the body shots, honey. Whoop, whoop. Hard, loud, digging in body shots that he kept going to the body until he got DC to bite on the body shot. He landed to the body, then he went 2-piece up to the face, knocked DC down, landed more punches, black. Ref stopped the fight and knew. He got his belt back, honey. He got it back. He made the necessary adjustments. He made the necessary reads and got his belt back. And I can't say nothing for it. I think he might be the greatest heavyweight in UFC's history, y'all. So what's going to be next for DC? Do you think he's going to have another fight, a third fight against Stipe? Should he come back against something else? Is he going to retire? He said he's not going to make a decision off of this emotion. So what do you think that he should do? What do you think should be next for Stipe? If it's not DC in a third match, should it be John Jones? Should it be Francis? It looks like he's earned himself another title shot. Who do you think should be next for DC or for Stipe? And what do you think DC should do next as far as his career? Let me know what you thought on the entire event. Any injury updates? This was an incredible event that lived up to all the hype, so please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care, and goodbye.